Oh, let's go. We are getting ready for the first semifinal of the NIT here in beautiful Frisco, Texas. They have been welcomed us with open arms this week, and it has been an incredible tournament so far inside at the Comerica Center. You look at the bracket, we're down to 4 teams. The quarterfinals was impressive. 3 of those games were decided by a total of 8 points. And now we have Colorado State taking on Memphis. Now, I could tell you all about how both these teams got here, but don't you want to hear from the coaches? Here's Nico Medved and Penny Hardaway in their own words.
I just thought we came out in the second half and really were a lot more aggressive. We were on our toes. We were attacking more. We were more aggressive. We fought our tail off and got a good win here.
We've gone through every scenario that you can go through this year as a team, from South Dakota until now, and I am proud that they've progressed in the right direction. We've learned how to win. Like, we got down 2 points with under 2 minutes, and we went on a 7-0 run. There's just growth in the team.
What's up, everybody? I'm John Tripp, and alongside Fran Fraschilla, Chris Budden will join us momentarily. Now, Fran, I'm excited for this game because we've got Colorado State, who's the #1 overall seed here in this NIT, going up against Memphis, who is led by Penny Hardaway, and he's got this team playing their best basketball of the season right now.
They're the #1 defensive team in college basketball, according to Ken Pom. They get after you with full court pressure, but this Colorado State team, a bunch of sophomores coached by Nico Medved, very high IQ team. They move the ball well. This will be fun.
Our officials tonight: Larry Spalding, Edward Young, Brooks Wells. Colorado State wearing the home white, and the Rams control the tip. We're underway. Semifinal #1 in the NIT.
Colorado State spreads you out. They'll try to get it downhill.
David Roddy will start this game off with a 3 from downtown. Colorado State did not shoot well in the first half on Thursday, 1 of 15. They got to improve on that tonight. Your starting 5 for Memphis: Nolly, Ellis, Quinones, Williams, and Cisse. Good sign for Memphis. I did see Alex Lomax warming up. He's missed the last 7 games for this team with an ankle injury. Not sure if he's going to go tonight. Nolly from downtown off the mark. Your starters for Colorado State: it's Moore and Stevens, one of the best backcourts in the country. David Roddy, the former football player, Moores, and Thistlewood, who needs to get back on track tonight from downtown.
Yeah, 0 for 8, 0 for 7 from 3. And Nico Medved, there he is. Terrific job. He rebuilt programs at Furman and Drake, and now doing a terrific job in the Mountain West, coming off the best Mountain West regular season in their history, 14-4.
He is the master of halftime adjustments. They were down at the half Thursday. He found out a way to figure out the defense. Their 3-ball off the mark by Boogie Ellis. Nolly, he'll pull the trigger from deep, and there's our first bucket of the ball game.
Landers Nolly, the Virginia Tech transfer, they're trying to keep him out on the three-point line. He has a tendency to shoot long twos. I went back and checked, John. Adam Thistlewood has not ever had a game at Colorado State like he did the other night, 0 for 7 behind the arc.
That one is pinned. Look at DeAndre Williams just shaking his head. If you don't think these guys are hyped for this game, that should tell you everything right there.
We've seen great energy. There you see a guy that has got his team playing very, very hard. I'm always impressed when I watch Memphis how hard they play, especially on a defensive end. I wouldn't get too excited if I was DeAndre Williams just yet.
4 on the shot clock, driving to the paint, and Isaiah Stevens is going to be fouled as he goes to the bucket.
I just want to remind you, Mr. Schriffen, what David Roddy did to Manny Bates and DJ Funderburk in the second half the other night.
It was impressive.
It was.
And I'll tell you what, he was motivated before the game. He saw on Twitter, we got a turnover here, I'll continue that story later. Quinones out alone. Memphis up 5-0 early on.
Watch that pressure now. They mix up man and zone. They'll run and jump, which means they'll leave their own man. The double perfect example right there. And they keep the pressure on.
Look at that pressure by Memphis. Thistlewood had a moment, but he didn't even look at the bucket there. Morse. Cisse blocked it, but he got too much of the body, so he's called for the foul.
Watch the pressure now, but watch how Colorado State keeps the ball off the floor, doesn't waste their dribble until they can attack, and this is going to be that kind of game of wills, John. Pressure by Memphis in the full court, but we know the Rams have 5 guys, or particularly 4 right now without Moores, that can all handle and pass it.
So getting back to the story I started, David Roddy, before the game on Thursday night against NC State, he saw something on Twitter. He saw one of the NC State fans tweeted something about him saying he wasn't big enough, he wasn't athletic enough to play with those guys, and he took it personally. He came out in that second half a different player, and you know he is motivated tonight.
Yeah, he's 6'5", both vertically and horizontally, and really threw his weight around inside against a big lineup. 3-sport athlete at the Breck School. Good pressure that time by Colorado State in the half court.
Forcing the turnover. Roddy was a 3-sport athlete, as you said, football, basketball, track and field. Had offers to play football. He could if he was a quarterback in high school, but he decided to stick with basketball in college.
One of the reasons Niko Medved is so excited about him is until last summer, he's never really concentrated on basketball in the summer because in high school he was playing 3 different sports.
Thistlewood, can he get on track? Off the mark for his first shot from downtown. Colorado State still looking for their first field goal of this game. Boogie Ellis, he's got daylight, thought about it, now he pulls it. That little hesitation, Fran, on that shot.
Yeah, and he's been shooting really well lately. Last handful of games, he's been red hot for Penny Hardaway's team. Watch how all 5 white jerseys are outside the three-point line, and they're going to try to spread Memphis out and use that pressure of Memphis to attack them off the dribble right there.
Moores to the bucket, but he just ran over Quiñones. Quiñones putting his body in the way, draws the charge. Fran, this kind of looks like the game we saw on Thursday night, the start for Colorado State.
This is the first round of a 15-round boxing match. So right now they're just feeling each other out. And I don't think Colorado State could play worse than they did in the first 20 minutes against NC State. And Niko Medved hopes not.
Boogie Ellis. Hear the bench of Colorado State getting involved. Quiñones off the mark. Cisse with an offensive board.
Love what he did. Didn't try to go up with it. He's really not polished offensively yet.
Now they give it back to him, but he traveled, and then to your point, still working on his offensive moves.
Yeah, exactly. He's a young kid. He reclassified. He should be a senior in high school, a young man that started in Guyana, ended up in New York, finished high school in Memphis, and he is an athletic young big guy. We call him high energy, underskilled right now. Not a criticism, just that his best strength is his athleticism on both ends of the floor.
So a trio of subs coming to the game from Memphis. Damian Baugh, Malcolm Dandridge, and DJ Jeffries enter for the first time for the Tigers.
You'll just watch Memphis. Every guy is in a stance. Good effort.
It's Kendall Moore. Colorado State, ice cold early on in this first 4 minutes of the ball game. Inside to Dandridge. And a jump ball caused by Moores. So there's the media timeout coming up. Chris Budden will tell us about the COVID effect for both of these squads after the break. Welcome back to the Comerica Center. John Triffin alongside Fran Fraschilla. Let's welcome in the third member of our crew, Chris Budden. Chris, hello.
Thanks, John. You know, every team has a story about how COVID-19 has affected their season, and it played a huge impact on these two teams down this stretch. Starting first with Memphis, they went 18 days in between games. They had to play 5 games in 11 days. They had a game canceled against Houston, the top team in their league, on their own home court. For Colorado State, they had a 3-week postponement. They had to finish the regular season 4 games in 7 days. And then on a personal level, for Colorado State, they weren't allowed to have fans in their building. So for a lot of these players, it is the first time they've been able to see, hear, and hug their families all season. We'll have more on what those hugs meant to a lot of those parents coming up.
Well, that is a great point, Chris. Thank you so much for that. Colorado State finally gets their first field goal of the ball game. Off the mark is DJ Jeffries.
Yeah, and I never worried about the first. You want to get out to a great start, John, no question about it, but there's so much basketball going on right now early in the game. They'll get their feet wet. But I want you to watch the connection of these guys on Memphis's end. All 5 of these guys are in a stance. And go ahead and watch.
Stevens from downtown.
Yep.
And now, back-to-back buckets for Colorado State, their first lead of the ball game, up 6-5.
Well, Isaiah Stevens, young man who grew up about 11 miles from Frisco in Allen, Texas. He's been a star for this team the last part of the season, 17 points a game.
Ball tried to answer, airballed that 3. Here comes Roddy. Sean Thomas into the game for the first time for the Rams.
One thing Memphis has done early, John, in the half court is they've really contested shots. So Thistlewood and those shooters have got to make sure they're open.
Thomas can hit this shot, and there he goes. That's 3 buckets in a row for Colorado State, and that media timeout certainly helped. A 9-0 run for Colorado State.
Well, the one thing we've noticed with this team, watch how they're backing off. The game plan is great. They're not guarding Damian Ball right now.
Nolly's 3 is in and out.
But what we saw the other night, John, this is a very poised team. And we saw that great comeback in the second half. So first 4 or 5 minutes of the game, they're not going to be rattled.
Let's see how the Tigers can end this 9-0 run from Colorado State. Roddy between the legs, spinning, blocked. But a foul inside called against Malcolm Dandridge.
When you're this size, and you're 6'5", 250, and you have this kind of mobility from the perimeter to the basket, once he gets into the paint, John, he's been used to being undersized there his whole career, and he's very comfortable playing against length because he takes his body to the defender and he eliminates the defender's verticality.
Now look at free throws. In the NIT, it's been an issue for Memphis. Colorado State's 89% from the line as a team. So as we move into this later part of the game, that could become an issue.
Oh, it will be. If those numbers stay the same, it'll absolutely be a negative issue for Memphis, no question about it.
So Malcolm Dandridge had to go to the bench for Memphis. He has 2 early fouls. And it's now an 11-0 run by Colorado State after Roddy knocked down both free throws. So how does Memphis get their offense going? They started 2 of 4 since they are 0 of 6 from the field.
It's a question they've been asking all season long because while they've been good defensively, offensively, they don't have finishers. They don't have a lot of guys who finish at the basket. They get to where they want to go, but they don't have a lot of finishers.
Jaden Hardaway, coach's son, missed his first shot there. And now it's P.J. Bird running the point for the Rams. Kanje with the show and tell. Scoop no good. Rebound, DJ Jeffries.
You're looking at a Memphis team we mentioned #1 in the country in defensive efficiency, but 154 in offense. I don't know if there's another team in the country with that much disparity between their offense and their defense.
DeAndre Williams ends the run. The 24-year-old knocks down the 3, and Memphis gets back to within 3.
He doesn't shoot a lot of those, but he's been very accurate this year, shooting over 40%. The young man from Houston, as you mentioned, 24 years old. A long road to Memphis and the Tigers.
Everyone's got their own journey.
Yep.
And that's what's great about college basketball. Thistlewood, pump fake, pulls the 3. That's what Colorado State needs.
What I loved about that is he allowed the shot fake allowed the defender to fly by. He didn't settle for a 2. It was a sidestep 3. Why get 2 when you can get 3 if your feet are educated?
So Memphis came out hot, but Colorado State has responded since the under-16 timeout. Quinones, nice dish inside to Jeffries. Jams it home. Williams.
Yeah, I think Lester Quinones is the best all-around player on this Memphis team. Came there as a shooter, but he's really a double-double, triple-double potential guy on given nights.
Both teams seem like they're starting to get into their flow. Tanjay, he is fouled on that three-point attempt, and he will go to the line for three.
Watch the ball movement. Good fundamentals right here. And we need a shot fake if you're going to play Memphis. Got to get those guys off their feet. Drive, kick, shot fake, sidestep. We'll take three on that.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the NIT is brought to you by New York Life, helping people act on their love for 175 years. We are in Frisco, Texas, looking at the Frisco Fresh Market. Incredible place here, about 20 minutes from Dallas. We're here in the Comerica Center. Now, for more information, go to NCAA.com, your official online home for all 90 NCAA championships.
About 20 years ago, John, when we first moved to Dallas, that this was all farmland. And there was one high school. Now there's, last I checked, there was at least 10 high schools in this area. It's one of the hot communities in the country.
No, it's very cool. I was looking up where to go for some food last night. Oh, there were so many restaurants around here. There's so many spots. This is a happening area.
Well, I moved here in the early 90s when it was that one high school. It has now become the #1 fastest growing city in America.
I love it.
That is incredible.
Yeah. Dallas Cowboys are up here at the Star, the practice facility. This young man, John Tanji, is a great story. Less than 2 points a game as a high school sophomore at Omaha Central. 2 years later, he led the state in scoring. And Nebraska had an assistant coach by the name of Ali Farouk-Manesh. You may remember him from the 2010 NCAA tournament. Knew all about him when he came to Colorado State. He said, I got a guy for you, Nico. And John Tanji's been really an energizer off the bench for 2 years.
Let's see where the energy is going to come from for the Tigers. They trail 16-10. Quinones picks up his dribble, finds Hardaway. Tough finish in the lane. That was nice.
Yeah, coach's kid. Played from at East High School, then he spent some time at IMG Academy. Rangy wing player, good energy. Memphis is locked in on the defensive end, but Colorado State, again, makes it difficult for you because they spread you out and they use the entire court. They use all 50 feet width of the half court, makes it tough for teams that pressure.
Stevens cans one from downtown.
Well, he is arguably the best point guard in the Mountain West, according to some. And I love the way he continues to get better in the postseason.
Mountain West, I know people knock the conference because of their performance in March Madness, but there were some really good teams. San Diego State, Utah State, Boise State.
Very competitive at the top, no question. Ali Farouk-Manesh, we talked about him, Northern Iowa. Let's go back about 11 years, playing in Oklahoma City against Kansas. No, don't do that. Great shot. Remember that one? That just iced the game against Bill Self and the Kansas Jayhawks. And Ali has played a little bit of professional basketball, but now a outstanding recruiter, by the way, John. Spent some time with Tim Miles at Nebraska, and now a key guy on this Nico Medved staff.
All right, here's what stood out for me from that highlight. Obviously, that was a sick shot.
Yep.
But look at the difference in the shorts. Lester Quinones, he's wearing the tight shorts tonight, and that seems to be the style that the kids are going back to now. Farouk-Manesh, he had him down past his knees.
He had the parachute on. And Lester's going with the John Stockton.
The throwbacks, right?
Oh.
Boogie Ellis with the steal in a bucket.
What I like about the Tigers, and they've done this under Penny for 3 years now, is They come at you relentlessly. Look at the switching and the jump traps. And it's a real challenge even for a team like Colorado State that is fundamentally sound.
Almost got another steal there. Stevens
Nice.
Off the glass.
You know, that was chess right there. That was the pressure defense of Memphis versus the ball movement and the spacing of the Rams.
Hardaway with a tight pass inside. Stevens' foot was on the line. That one rolls in. Excuse me, Jeffries.
We got a flop warning on Isaiah Stevens. Next one will be a technical foul on the team. Next flop of any player on the Rams.
I haven't seen that a ton this year in the games that I've called, but I like that they are calling that.
Well, I think they need to call it more, honestly. But it's in the rule book now.
Outlet pass, and that one is stolen by DeAndre Williams. He'll lay it in, and Memphis is fired up right now. Memphis has scored on their last 7 possessions, only down by 2. For a difference of 12 years, but the length in shorts, the fashion is just changed, and the kids nowadays, they're trying to throw it back.
That's why I didn't throw out my leisure suits from the 70s, man, because everything comes back around. Everything old is new again, John. That's actually true in coaching, too, because things that look like they're new to the game, no middle defense, stuff like that has been going on forever and ever.
Rivera on the press break, misses everything. Tanjay can't keep it alive.
DeAndre Williams is a great story. Highly recruited as a high school junior. Had some academic difficulties. Had to bail out of school for 2 full seasons. Ended up back in high school. Prep school, then to Evansville with Walter McCarty. His freshman year, they knocked off Kentucky at Kentucky. And he's a 24-year-old junior transfer, got eligible in December. Really a high-level athlete, great enthusiasm.
And with his attitude and his addition on this team has come the flow of the game. When Memphis started the season in South Dakota, Penny Hardaway told me we were in a dark, dark place. My players were selfish. They didn't care about being teammates. The moment that DeAndre Williams became eligible changed this team. You watch him on the bench, his attitude, his energy. He got lit up by Hardaway just before that previous play and then comes out with a force of energy that his guys just feed off of.
Oh, you can tell, there's no doubt about it, Chris. That energy is palpable. And it fits this team perfectly, the way they defend.
10 seconds on the shot clock for Colorado State, up 21-19. It's the first of 2 semifinals today here in the NIT. Thistlewood off the mark. Tanjay keeps it alive. Inside, Tarati with the left. That's off the mark. Quinones pulls it down.
Quinones has become, in the absence of Alex Lomez's great leadership, he's become the most versatile player on this team. Assists, rebounds, defense, shooting. Let's go back and watch DeAndre Williams. We're talking about a lengthy, athletic, skilled guy. Can make shots. He can score inside. He defends. He's great in the press. Take a look. And to Chris's point, when he became eligible, they changed the game. His effort changed Memphis' season.
You know, Chris talked about what it meant to the other players to have a veteran presence like Williams. As a former coach, Fran, what does it mean to have a veteran guy you can rely on like that?
Well, you remember, he played in big games at Evansville. He was a big part of being a part of that team, going to Kentucky and winning. And playing in college basketball, if you're not a one and done, is all a process year by year. And we're watching 2 teams that are heavily laden with young players, mostly sophomores. And we used to say the best thing about freshmen is they become sophomores. These 2 teams are going to be really good next year because of this postseason experience.
3 by Stevens off the mark. We've got about 25% capacity here in Comerica Center, so you can hear everything going on the court. Let's listen in right now.
Welcome back to Frisco. 25% capacity here, and a lot of it is moms and family members who have come to see their kids play for the very first time. That is Pat Stevens, Isaiah Stevens' mom. She had not seen her son since last July, and earlier this week when she was able to come watch him play, he's from Allen, Texas, just a few miles outside Frisco, they met at the buses, and she told me yesterday, I didn't know if I was going to be able to hug him. I hadn't hugged my son in 10 months. I was ready to just take a socially distanced selfie. But then we looked at Coach, and Coach said, it's okay, you can hug him. And I did. She said, you forget all the things that you take for granted. She said, I just sat there and I didn't want to let him go. Isaiah said, it's been so good to hear actual voices and not just fake crowd noise here as these families are able to see their kids play for the first time in 10 months.
That's a great point, Chris. This pandemic has been tough on so many people, but the good thing that has come out of it, we can all start to appreciate the little things more.
Oh, hey, John, think about what these kids have gone through this year. Seating charts on planes and buses. One player, one ball, and one coach in the gym. Staggering the time you can go to the locker room. Pre-packaged meals. No high fives. Positive tests. False positive tests. Virtual hangouts on FaceTime. It's been an unusual year, but we have gotten to the end of a great season, and the players get all the credit.
Deep three by Quinones. That is a 10-0 run by Memphis. That one is swatted away, and here come the Tigers. Boogie Ellis in trouble, kicked out. Quinones thought about it. Into the corner is Ball. Ball skip pass. Look at the ball movement for the Tigers. Quinones can't finish it. Nolly tried to keep it alive, and I think he does, yeah. The NCAA Men's Basketball Championship Sweet 16 continues today on CBS and TBS, or you can stream the games on the March Madness Live app from anywhere. For more information on the game times and networks, go to ncaa.com.
I'll be watching later tonight, but not until we finish two great games here.
This has been some high-level basketball at the NIT. All of these teams left, they want this chip.
I think each of these teams was one, or in Memphis' case, maybe 2 wins away from a bid.
Williams.
Yep. What an impact he's had. He's got a little bit of Dennis Rodman in him. He's got a little bit of KG in him.
A 13-0 run as Thistlewood runs over Williams for the charge as the 24-year-old pounds the floor. You know he doesn't want this to be his last college basketball game.
No, this is great, man. He has really provided this energetic boost. Take a look right there. And he's got Thistlewood a little bit flummoxed because Thistlewood, look at this energy right there. You don't think late March basketball means something to these kids?
And we've got more coming on the way. Mississippi State takes on Louisiana Tech next. And then our championship game is Sunday, right back here on ESPN.
Boy, this pressure, we talked about it at the beginning. It's relentless.
Boogie Ellis misses the jam, but he's going to be fouled by Moore. What happened? How did Memphis flip the switch?
Boxing match, right? Early in the game, it was Memphis' defense, Colorado State on their heels. Then Colorado State took it to the pressure. It's now flipped in the middle of the fight. Memphis now throwing some haymakers because what we said was they're number one in the country defensively for a reason. They play with great relentlessness.
I mean, their defense has just put the clamps down. Colorado State scoreless in over 4.5 minutes.
I think they've gotten there. I think Colorado State's poise has been rattled a little bit by the pressure. And I remember last year in New York and Brooklyn watching Memphis beat NC State. The thing that I took away from that, John, is they're good. They can be good offensively, Memphis, but the defense is outstanding. They're number one in efficiency because Penny Hardaway gets his team to play hard and play together on this end. They don't always play great offensively, but they're using their defense today to create offense.
This is the largest lead of the ball game for Memphis. Look at this pressure. That one is out of bounds on Ball, but the hustle is there tonight.
You know what's interesting? Penny Hardaway has an NBA background as a player, but this is a guy that started his coaching career in Memphis in middle school and then at East High School in Memphis. So it's not like he was born with a silver coaching spoon in his mouth.
How do we end this run for Colorado State? Roddy, and that one is pinned against the basket. Jump ball possession
Not
hour
that way.
stays here. Yeah, that's not it.
I hated that in the park. You know why? I could never jump up and get that. Look at this. We were stuck. Oh, man. I had to go get a broom.
You had to call for some help.
I'm going to take you back to my days in Brooklyn on the playgrounds now.
Oh, man. New York City blacktop. There's nothing like
yeah. That's why I got a hip replacement.
That's why my knees are so bad today.
Oh, man. Now, you know, it's really important in the last 5 minutes for Colorado State to get back and play with more poise and spread Memphis out. I think they're worried, much like NC State the other night. They're worried about the length inside. This is what you got to do.
Kendall Moore tries to go in, but Williams. Ooh, Penny Hardaway
says
not
no.
happy about that call.
Even little Penny's unhappy about that one. But I like the drive. Look at that. I love this. Listen, when they come at you with the pressure, you got to come at them. And there's a little bump there.
That's a good call. That's a good call.
Yeah.
Got him on the hip first.
Yeah. But that's what you do against aggressive teams. You take it to the bully and try to get back at them.
What's impressive about both of these guards for Colorado State and Kendall Moore and Isaiah Stevens, they've seen the length all season long, so they're not afraid of the pressure or the athleticism from Memphis.
No, they're not, but I do think the team as a whole for about a 5-minute stretch got rattled. And much like we saw against NC State, you'll see in the second half they'll come back out at Memphis the way they did at NC State. I just would like to see them do it here the last 4:52. Now, a little pressure by Colorado State. Kind of throw the pressure back at Memphis. Let's see how they handle it.
So those two free throws ended a 15-0 run by Memphis. Quinones from the corner. Put back by Jeffries. He is fouled.
DJ Jeffries, highly recruited at Olive Branch, Mississippi, which is not far from downtown Memphis. He's been up and down in his first 2 years. I think Penny Hardaway feels he's got as much talent as anybody on this team. Now, injuries have played a part, but there are some really good young players on this Memphis team. By the way, they are rocking the Memphis State old school unis right there.
I'm loving these. These are hot.
I go back, see now, you remember Penny when he played. I remember Larry Keenan and Ronnie Robinson and Larry Finch and the great Gene Bartow in the 1973 NCAA tournament. Bill Walton, 21 of 22 in the finals against Memphis State.
Ooh.
Sorry to bring that up, Tiger fans.
Thistlewood with the quick release. Jeffries clears the board.
Look at Jeffries handle it for a power forward.
Hand off to Quinones. And he has been hot from downtown.
He does everything for this team. He has really morphed into a complete college player. At IMG Academy, he was a shooter. Look at the hustle.
2 blue jerseys on the floor around the ball. They want this game big time.
Well, it's important to create the momentum, not only for tomorrow and potentially playing in the championship game for next season, but watch Roddy. He's not going to go for it. And 2 Memphis players are getting after that, what I call a 50-50 ball. It's a good way to turn it into an 80-20.
I love being able to listen to these sounds.
Oh, yeah. We weren't hearing Squeaker Sneak a year ago today.
Roddy, before the shot clock goes off. Ball with the floater, that goes. And everything is just clicking for Memphis right now. Timeout, Colorado State. Well, we talked about Penny back in his NBA days, but how about this marketing campaign? Remember Lil Penny? Oh, how can we forget? We'll have more coming up after the break.
Coming up at the half, we'll preview today's Sweet 16 matchups, including Oral Roberts' shot at history and a lengthy Syracuse discussion, I'm sure. Plus, the Women's Tournament, big day there. 13 field goals, 11 assists for Memphis so far, John.
Yeah, Memphis physicality is really taking over this basketball game, picking up little full-court pressure, getting back into that zone, forcing a lot of tough shots. And some of the makes for Colorado State been fool's gold makes.
If you can impose your identity on the game, you're going to win the game. And Memphis has imposed their identity on the game and taken over the rhythm and of this game.
John and Fran, back to you.
The concise thoughts of Seth Greenberg. Who's in there? Farney, too?
Yep.
Sorry about that, Farney.
So for Colorado State, Isaiah Stevens is 3 of 4 from the field. Rest of the team is 3 of 17, but Moore changes that with a 3-ball.
Hey, shout out to John Crispin. Sorry about that. I was getting ready for Little Penny.
To the bucket is Ball. That's too easy.
I never liked backing off a guy like that, who they obviously don't think can make shots, Damian Ball, because it gives him momentum to put the ball in the basket, on the floor, and get some rhythm to the basket. And that's exactly what Damian Ball did versus that scouting report. You see Memphis, a lot of switching on the weak side, so there's 5 defenders against 3. That's really good half-court defense.
That length is just something for Memphis.
Yeah, we watched practice yesterday, John, and they were dialed in to this Colorado State offense.
Nolly over the top. Roddy to Tanji in the corner. And Tanji knocks down a triple.
If you're Colorado State now, just try to get it into single figures before you go to halftime.
So it's now a 10-point lead for Memphis. Their largest lead in this first half was 14. Jeffries thought about it. Now he'll pull the trigger, and he answers with a 3-ball.
He can do it. DJ Jeffries is one of those inside-out forwards. He's made 24 on the season now.
A lot of contact. Tanji is bumped, goes to the floor, and he'll go to the line for 2. Let's throw it over to Chris.
We showed you Little Penny earlier. How about some of the other famous nicknames that we've seen throughout the NBA? Because he wasn't born Penny, he was born Anthony Hardaway. How about Pistol Pete Maravich, Dr. J. Julius Irving Magic Johnson, and then, of course, Michael Air Jordan. Penny, he was actually supposed to be Petty was the nickname his grandmother gave him, but had such a southern drawl that it came out Penny. And it's stuck ever since. Fran, what's your favorite of all of them?
Oh, well, my favorite Lil Penny line is when he said, "You can't guard me. The Secret Service can't guard me."
I love the Lil Penny voice, too. There you go.
Who was the Little Penny voice? Do you know? He went to my high school.
Who was it?
Chris Rock. James Madison High School, yep.
Roddy inside. He is fouled. That's the 9th team foul on Memphis.
I think that Nico Medved is going to have another, hopefully, upbeat halftime speech like he gave the other night when his team came roaring out in the second half against NC State. You mentioned, what was it, 1 for 17?
1 for 15 the other night.
And then they heated up. They ended up 3 for 23 on the night, John. All 3 threes by Isaiah Stevens, by the way.
So that's the second personal foul on DJ Jeffries. He will remain in the game.
Yeah, you see, Colorado State's going to play inside the 3-point line and dare the Tigers to shoot those threes.
Hardaway, they left him open.
Yep. Basically, they're just playing way off.
Roddy with a full head of steam and one. There's the former football player showing off the strength.
Well, and what did we say earlier in this half? You cannot baby the ball up against shot blockers. You have to take it through their chest. Take a look. Roddy's had enough of getting his shot blocked, so he's just going to take it right up through the defender's chest, who's not legal. Take a look right here. He's moving, and you've got to take your strength and use it against that length.
And that's a big foul, because that's the third personal foul on DJ Jeffries. They decided to leave him in the game. He tried to get out of the way, but you could see David Roddy, he was ready for some contact.
I used to tell my guys, what's the worst that could happen? They block it out of bounds, okay? You got a chance to pick up a foul, and you got a chance to set a tone by saying, you stay there and block this, but I'm going to come right up through your nose.
The lead is down to 7 for Memphis. 1 minute to play here in this first half. Quinones with a fadeaway. That's nice.
I think he's their best all-around player. Young man out of Long Island, Brentwood, New York.
He's been the most consistent for the squad.
He's really morphed into an impressive all-around player. Look at the defense. And he's a great passer. Good challenge.
Stevens!
Big shot!
In your face!
Yep. That's okay. That's mano a mano right there. Great D by Quinones and a great comeback shot made by Stevens, who's done this all sophomore year for Niko Medved.
The lead was 14 at one point. It is down to 6. And a timeout on the floor called by Memphis with 12 on the shot clock.
Let's watch now. Lester Quinones is as good a defender as guarding this right here. Challenge, contest, big shot, off the dribble. This is important. Guards have to learn how to shoot the three off the dribble. And he does it right there because oftentimes it's not a catch and shoot situation.
Folks, don't go anywhere, because we remember what happened on Thursday night against NC State. They couldn't buy a bucket. And in the second half, Niko Medved, he channeled something special in the locker room and had his guys coming out playing completely different. This is the #1 overall seed here in the NIT. They're #1 for a reason.
Yeah, and to Memphis's credit, Colorado State did lose their poise for about 5 or 6 minutes. Niko Medved called 2 timeouts, but they've been a high IQ team, ball-moving team all year, and sometimes you got to figure out how to play versus length and energy, which Memphis does, and they have to this point.
So Musa Cisse will inbound the ball for the Tigers. 12 on the shot clock. Differential between shot clock and game clock is 4 seconds. Quinones, pull-up jumper over Thomas. Cisse, that one is taken away by David Roddy.
You don't want to foul
4
him here.
seconds on the clock. Thistlewood at the buzzer. And that'll do it for an exciting first half here in Frisco, Texas, as Memphis with a 44-38 halftime lead. All right, let's send it to our guys, Kevin Connor, Seth Greenberg, and John Crispin in the studio. Welcome back. This is our first semifinal here, the NIT. What a first half we had. Memphis with a 44-38 lead over Colorado State. Their largest lead in that first half was 14, but the Rams went on a run. Fran, I know you love this defense from Memphis.
Yes, they are connected. They play with great enthusiasm. They're in the right place. They challenge shots. And take a look right here. We talk about connectivity. Let's watch all 5 in sync, and we'll end it with something that's critical to good defenses. Everybody in a stance, pass, and watch. You must, to be a great defensive team, contest shots. Good shooter right here, Moore. The length of Memphis, contest. That's a key to good defense. But then how about Isaiah Stevens coming right back late first half, and he was getting it going. And Pat Stevens in the house from 11 miles away in Allen, Texas. She's ready and happy see her son continue to do what he's been doing all NIT long.
John Triffin alongside Fran Fraschilla, third member of our crew. Chris Budden will join us once again momentarily. All right, at half, Niko Medved is known for making adjustments. What did he say to his team?
Well, I think he was really happy with how they finished the first half because, again, the length of Memphis really bothered them, I thought, the first 12 minutes. But they're used to playing against quality defense all season. You've got to be able to play what I call hot potato against that defense, keep the ball moving, and attack once you get the advantage.
Chris, you talked to him. What did he say?
Well, just like that NC State game, he said he likes the position that his group is in. They need to settle down, play with more discipline. He said, my guys are making silly turnovers. His biggest thing is we have to be able to finish in the lane. If we don't see something, kick it out, but play poised and don't rush, which is exactly what Penny Hardaway's game plan was, to make them uncomfortable, get them out of rhythm.
So a turnover on the first possession for Memphis to start the second half.
Yeah. Cisse is a very limited offensive player right now, just in the early stages of his development. And he turns it over with a travel.
He's had a few games where he has a spark where he can ignite this team with a dunk, but as you said, yes, he's still developing.
Well, he's a rim runner. He's a pick and roll roller to the basket. He's a lob catcher. That's really where his strength is offensively right now.
He's guarding Moores closely inside now. Moores throws it up with the shot clock winding down. Cisse with the board.
See, if I were him, I would take off for the basket, just like that.
There's a straightaway three off the mark by Nolly. All right, let's take a look at our first half numbers. Colorado State field goals, 3 of 10 from 2-point range, but from downtown, I mean, this was the number that they needed to improve from Thursday.
Yes, but now, what we said in the first half, remember Roddy driving to the basket? You can't settle for threes against this team. You have to get Memphis's front line in foul trouble. And the only way you do that is take it to them. If they block a few shots, you live with that.
Roddy in the corner. He's going to take the shot and cans it.
He's such a tough matchup. We've chronicled that 6'5", 250 frame, but John, he's the ultimate weapon in the Mountain West because he can do so many things offensively to score the basketball.
Roddy now has 10 points with 5 rebounds. Thistle got his hand on it, but it stays with Memphis. Williams. Tight pass inside to Cisse, and that was a tough pass.
Well, see, Cisse's telling Williams, throw the ball up. Don't hit me in the numbers on the run, and they're still discussing it. But I think Cisse wins the argument here. When you got a young big guy like that with that kind of athleticism, he's not comfortable catching a line drive pass.
First 3 possessions were turnovers for Memphis. Now a steal by Williams, behind the back with the left. Smooth.
Oh, I'll tell you, that was a Euro step for a guy from Houston, Texas right there. How he did not run over Thistlewood was impressive.
5-point lead for Memphis. Stevens in the lane, kicks out to his fellow guard, Moore. And that's what Cisse can do. He can rip down the board.
And watch him run now. He's got to be the unknown runner. Running, not knowing whether he's going to get it or not.
Quinones! Uh-oh. He is 4 of 6 from downtown tonight.
And here's that pressure. Watch how they work. They're the help defenders work. And they'll be ready to pounce on a double team if it's there.
That's good scouting. Williams was right on Thistlewood when he caught that 3 in rhythm. Stevens is in trouble, and he throws that one away. Quinones, he's got Williams, but he'll back it out. Look at Memphis slowing things down.
Yep, that's good basketball right there.
Great coaching by Penny Hardaway as he's calling out the play.
Well, he knows his team. You know, after a long season, he knows his team, and he sometimes can be sloppy in the open court. He's going to settle him down. This guy can make shots.
Oh, yes, he can. Yep. Landers Nolly. That is an 8-0 run for the Tigers.
Got to see now. Niko Medved knows there's a TV timeout coming at the under 16. He's trying to hold on right now because he's only got 2 left. And his team has played with poise throughout the year. So he's going to let him work through this scenario.
Isaiah Stevens to the bucket, kicks out to Thistlewood trying to save it, and another turnover. A 3-on-1 fast break. Williams got it.
He may have to take it, and he will. Yep. Got to stop the bleeding.
Memphis came out of the break on fire. They got a 13-point lead.
DeAndre Williams has taken many roads to get to Memphis, Tennessee. From Houston, Texas, the 24-year-old. Nobody ever said he doesn't have game and a feel for the game as well. Look at the mobility and the agility of this 6'9" guy out of Houston. You know who loves this more than anything? Mrs. Williams. Happy to see her son 4 hours away. DeAndre grew up in Houston, Texas. He was one of the top high school players in the country as a junior. Had some academic issues to work through. Ended up transferring here from Evansville, and you can see that impact that we've already talked about throughout this game.
Slow starts to both halves for Colorado State. They started the first half 0 of 4 with 3 turnovers. Cisse with the rejection. And now they're starting this second half. They're 1 of 4 with 3 turnovers. So let's see if Colorado State can get things together. Down by 13 against Memphis. What an NIT we've had so far, and this is just the first semifinal. The second semifinal is coming up after this. Mississippi State against Louisiana Tech, and the championship is tomorrow. Tanjay coming out of a timeout. He's off the mark.
Yeah, great energy, this entire NIT. Kudos to Conference USA for helping host this, and the NCAA as well to create an NIT that has incredible history.
Tried to get it inside to Cisse, but Kendall Moore poked that one away. Can we also say thank you to these student athletes, their families, the coaches, the support staff, the everyone who's played a major role in just having a season.
Hey,
the
John,
fact that we had basketball this year is huge.
No doubt about it, John. In October, early November, we were all hoping, praying, wondering. Look at this guy.
Jump hook.
He's been the catalyst today. DeAndre Williams.
A 12-0 run. And this is the largest lead of the ball game for Memphis at 15.
I think Colorado State settled for too many jump shots. It's hard to shoot shots over the length of this team. Oh, look at those feet by Cisse. Goaltending. Yep. That ball was on the rim. If it's on the rim, you cannot touch the net or the rim.
How about our guy, Lester Quinones? Here's the truth in advertising. He knocks down this 3 ball. That one was from deep. And then after he knocks down one from the corner, show me the air guitar.
Oh, yeah.
Play that sweet music.
Yep. Played on a great high school team at IMG Academy with Jeremiah Robinson Earl. Josh Green now with the Dallas Mavericks. IMG, powerhouse down in Florida. Good fake.
Thomas called for the foul on Landers Nolly. And Quinones has been big because he's had to do this without Alex Lomax. Lomax, this is now the 8th game he will not play in. One thing to note, we saw him warm up before the game, Alex Lomax. This is the best he has looked in quite some time. He actually is dressed. There is a uniform on underneath that warm-up shirt. So should anything happen, he is available. But they're hoping to maybe something happen tonight. If they win this game, let's see what he could possibly play tomorrow.
Yeah, he's the heart and soul of this team. We mentioned earlier he was coached by Penny Hardaway going back to middle school. 2-time state MVP of the Tennessee State Tournament for Memphis East. And basically he's like another son to Penny Hardaway. And his leadership has been missed, but Quinones has picked it up down the stretch of the season.
Bird off the mark. Memphis has scored on their last 6 possessions.
And part of the reason, John, they've extended this lead, not only that great offense, but their defense continues to be relentless.
Nolly working up against a double team.
He thought he was fouled, but no call.
Stevens, that's a hard take to the rack. A lot of contact.
I like it. See, I think that's how you have to play against an aggressive defensive team. Nice drive inside.
Landers Nolly takes it over David Roddy, and it's a 16-point lead for Memphis. Under 14 minutes to play here in the semifinal of the NIT.
He got spooked.
Winner goes to the championship.
Deshaun Thomas just got spooked by that length inside. That's a tough shot right there.
What a big one by Bird.
The coach is thinking, you know what he's thinking, John? I don't want to be making those shots all second half because it's likely not to happen.
And that was just a long 2 for Colorado State.
Yep.
Nice pick and roll. There's the offensive moves by the big man, Musa Cisse.
I like this. Good catch. This is a soft bounce pass that the big fella can catch. He's very much in the infancy of his development, but a good job by the young guy. He's long, he's athletic, he plays with excellent energy, and now, right now, offensively, he's a work in progress.
Years old. His first love was soccer, and his brother came to visit him, saw how tall he had gotten, and said, "You got to give up soccer and start playing basketball." And that became the love affair for him. He said, "I knew at that point that I could use basketball to change my life, to change my mom's life. She was a single mom back in West Africa. She's given me everything." And now he's giving everything for basketball so that he can change his life for her.
Now, what I love, Chris, is we're seeing an influx of kids from the continent of Africa. Kudos to the NBA Africa, all the colleges who have brought these kids over. And a kid like this, it's amazing how many of these kids grow up playing soccer. Because Americans don't realize that basketball is cool in Cameroon and Senegal and Serbia. But soccer is the #1 sport in the world, and these big kids all are agile.
And they're going to count that bucket off the goaltend and the foul, so Roddy goes to the line to try to convert a 3-point play. Now, for more information, go to NCAA.com, your official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. How about this, Fran? Look who's in the house, Louisiana Tech, and that's their star freshman, getting ready for a big semifinal coming up against Mississippi State.
Kenny Lofton Jr. If you don't know the name, stay tuned because this kid is going to be a household name in college basketball in the next few years. Kenny Lofton Jr.
He's already on his way. He has had an outstanding NIT, and the way his season has progressed, he's just been getting better since really the midway through point of their schedule.
Look at Williams.
Just on a pogo stick, tipping that one in.
Boy, the energy is infectious. Chris mentioned it. It goes back to early in the season when the NCAA allowed transfers to be eligible immediately. He was sitting out, and Chris told that great story about how the season really changed when he got eligible for this team.
Now, Colorado State, they've come back from big deficits before. Into the hole, no good by Kendall Moore. They came back from 26 down against San Diego State earlier, and that was on the road at San Diego State. So they can come back.
There's no question. That's a historic comeback in the history of the Mountain West. But much of that happened in the first half of that game.
Nolly in front of his bench lets them know, I just hit that 3.
What I'm impressed with is this is as good as Memphis has played offensively in a while. The defense you take for granted is going to come and show up every game. But the offense today, really outstanding. Great ball movement, great energy.
Inside, tough takes. Stevens loses the handle. That's Bird from downtown. Boogie Ellis skying for the board. Outlet pass, and that's picked off. Fast break opportunity for Colorado State. Bird is going to be hacked by Ellis and will go to the line for two.
These two teams within a shadow of an NCAA appearance. Didn't happen. So what do? They make lemons and they make a little lemonade. Throw a little sweetener in there. And we are in late March with college basketball. And juniors ready. Stay tuned.
Coming up next, the NCAA Women's Championship Sweet 16 continues with 6-seeded Michigan taking on Kilmoke's 2nd-seeded Baylor Lady Bears. And at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific on ESPN2, 4th-seeded Indiana takes on number 1-seeded NC State, followed by 3rd-seeded Arizona and 2nd-seeded Texas A&M. All games are also available on the ESPN app. When you look at the field goal shooting in the second half, Memphis shooting almost 70% from the floor. Colorado State 31%.
Listen, if Memphis played this way offensively every night, which is hard to ask them to do with such a young team, this team would be a juggernaut. But defensively, John, they're outstanding. And tonight, they're getting great energy and offensive ball movement.
Shot clock down to 5. Nolly with a hand in his face. Rebound to Moore.
Not a bad possession. The ball moved pretty well.
Look at that hesitation by Stevens, but he couldn't shake the defender.
No, ball stayed right with him. Look at the length inside.
Wow, I mean, Colorado State's pulling out all the moves, but Memphis.
Challenge. See that challenge?
Every shot is challenged.
Yeah, that's a skill. That takes effort.
Deep 3 by Moore, back iron.
Look at this. Coming right back at you.
Crossover by Nolly! Hello!
How about that? How about the skill in the open court of Williams and Nolly today?
Nolly and DeAndre Williams have put on a show today for Memphis.
John, on his defensive end, we used to chart uncontested shots allowed, and a bad game for my team was any more than 4, I would be unhappy. They challenge every single jump shot that Colorado State has taken today, seemingly.
Jeffries with a post up. Now he kicks out in the corner to Nolly, and he knocks down a 3. If Memphis has this kind of offensive efficiency, I don't think anybody can stop them right now.
Well, defensively, as we mentioned, they're one of the best in the country. And this is a team that lost a heartbreaker to Houston in the semifinals of the American Conference. And obviously, Houston is 2 games away from a Final Four.
Nolly has scored Memphis's last 8 points.
Look at the help.
Roddy.
All right.
Muscles it in for 2.
That's one of the rare times today David Roddy's been able to go through a low post defender the way we saw him do that versus NC State, Manny Bates and DJ Funderburk. Penny said, look, we've got a lead. We've been moving the ball. Let's just catch our breath right here. Let's take a mental health break for 30 seconds.
Jeffries pump fake now pulls a 3, and everything is going
night
for the Tigers.
It's one of those nights. Right now, as a coach, you know, if you're Nico Medved right now, you're looking at this and saying, we caught them on a wrong night. This is one of the 5 nights a year a team has where everything goes right. And there's those 5 nights where they go wrong, and you have to win those games when you play poorly.
Stevens bottled up. Now inside to Roddy. He is double teamed, and he'll be fouled.
Well, David Roddy is trying to get this Rams team back in it, using that 6'5", 250 frame, muscling his way through, but not enough, because on this end, little sleight of hand, and the finish by Landers Nolly, the 3rd.
Welcome back to Frisco. You know, Lil Penny like to have some fun, like to make some jokes. Well, today's Penny, or yesterday's Penny, was not pleased at all with the way his team's shoot-around went. They're up by 23 right now. But yesterday, he lit into his team. They were complaining, making marks underneath their breath. He got after him and said, I can hear you guys. This isn't going to be a walk through the park. We got to get these guys out of rhythm, and it starts with communication, and you guys didn't show that at all today. And one of the assistants said, you want to play in the NBA? You know what that stands for? No babies allowed, and I don't want that here today. That's one thing when you watch Penny's team and his practices, he reads their heartbeat and their attitude so well.
Wow, how about Memphis responding to that yesterday? This performance today has been impressive.
This guy could be chipping and putting at Doral down in Miami with Juwan Howard. He made enough money to take the rest of his life off, basically. But he went back to Memphis, started in middle school with a very close friend who's since passed away. Memphis East High School, got the chance to come home to coach at his alma mater. And we're watching a team, since I've watched him coach the last 3 years, his team plays with great energy. And yesterday, he talked about communication defensively. He's got great coaches on his staff. Cody Toppert's been in the NBA. Tony Madlock, who was a teammate of his, has gotten an opportunity to be the next head coach at South Carolina State. And I'd be pretty happy if I was Memphis Tiger fan base.
Oh, for sure. You know, and we've always had NBA players go back to coaching college, but doesn't it seem like we've seen more of a trend recently with big-time NBA players? You got Juwan Howard at Michigan,
Yep.
Patrick Ewing at Georgetown.
There's always been that trickle, maybe a little bit more. They won't take different paths, okay? But if you look at Patrick Ewing and Juwan Howard, I would say this about those guys. They could have retired after being players. Patrick Ewing was an NBA assistant for 16 years. Under guys like Stan Van Gundy, Steve Clifford, Jeff Van Gundy. Juwan Howard spent 6 years with Eric Spoelstra and Pat Riley as an assistant in Miami. That's dog years because those guys go hard morning, noon, and night. And both of these guys have committed to going back to their alma maters and put the time in and the work to coach college basketball.
Roddy using his body to put that one in. I think we understand the X's and O's part of what goes into coaching, but as a former coach, what else logistically do you have to worry about?
Well, the recruiting is different, obviously. The basketball is easy because there's more coaching in one NBA game than there are 3 college games. And if you've spent time like Patrick Ewing or Juwan Howard in the NBA game, we're talking about algebra here compared to, algebra is the NBA. This is arithmetic. This is 2 + 2 = 4. A guy like Penny, John, he went back to the middle school level and the AAU circuit and the high school level to hone his craft.
DeAndre Williams, that one is denied. A lot of contact. Stevens will pull up on the break and knock down the 3. Isn't it interesting, though, that as we talk about these big-time NBA guys going back to college, they went back to places they graduated from? It talks about the passion of college basketball.
Well, and what the schools meant to them.
Colorado State down by 20. 6 minutes to play. Alongside Fran Fraschilla and Chris Budd. And Fran, we were talking about before we went to break, just all the coaches that are coming from the NBA back to their alma maters. Why is it that's so special that they want to go back home?
Well, mainly because it's where they grew up as men, as young men, got their chances to play in the NBA, have the great memories, the passion of playing for your university. And in Penny's place, he's playing for his city because of what the city has meant to him. So it's fun to see. Certainly adjustments. I'd rather be an NBA coach personally if I were those guys, but this is what the opportunity have gotten. And Penny certainly, first 3 years, I would say it's been a success. They were an NCAA team a year ago minus the COVID outbreak at 21-10.
And even this season, they've had 2 close losses against Houston, who is one of the best teams in the country. They lost to Houston at the buzzer in the regular season, and then they lost Alex Lomax down the later stretch of here in the season for Memphis. So nothing should be taken away from what they accomplished this year. They had a chance to get into the tournament where a few breaks go different ways.
Of course. No, those two Houston games I think were just decided by 5 points maybe. Both of them close, and one in the semifinal.
Thistlewood, and he is fouled on the inside.
You know, there's another guy on the bench. Cody Toppard right there played at Cornell on some great teams. He was an NBA assistant with the Phoenix Suns. Look at you showing
Ivy League some love again.
Yeah. Now, Cody was the head coach of the Northern Arizona Suns G League team, and Penny did not know Cody, but because of the NBA connections, Cody's come back along with, Tony Madlock, and they've got great symmetry. You throw Jermaine Johnson in there, some Memphis guys, some NBA connections, and when you're working guys out like Penny is, and he can show my coaching staff can help you get to the next level, make you a better player, it certainly brings it all together.
We approach 5 minutes to play here in this first semifinal of the NIT. Mississippi State takes on Louisiana Tech next.
Yep.
And ball traveled.
He dragged that back foot. Yeah, you see Memphis, they're coming at you with that pressure. No Alex Lomax, but they have morphed into a team that's on its way to winning 13 of 16 if they hold on, John.
So back-to-back turnovers by Memphis, leaving the door open slightly for Colorado State. Roddy can't find that one.
Now this defense is a lot tougher to crack than the NC State defense that this team played the other night that was shorthanded. Little pressure, 1-3-1. They'll use this on occasion.
Good pass inside. Williams stripped, stays with it, and puts it in.
Great energy right there. Williams wanted a foul call. You're not getting that in Kelly Park.
Tanjay! And Williams is called with the foul. As a reminder, stay right here. We've got the second game of the NIT semifinals. Mississippi State taking on Louisiana Tech. That one should be fun as well.
DeAndre's mom didn't like that call. DeAndre didn't like it either, but Larry Spalding gave him what seemed to be a cogent explanation, and DeAndre seemed to buy it.
You know what I've loved about this game? We haven't really talked about the officials, which means they're doing a great job.
You know, the best part about officiating is when I see these guys at the airport the next morning and I say, I never mentioned you guys once last night. And they give me a socially distanced fist bump this year.
Nice.
Next year it'll be the hug and the fist bump and the high five. But I'm a fan. I'm a fan because we got 3 teams out there. You know what? No, we got 4 teams out there every night. 2 teams competing, the referees, and then the broadcast team. And some nights I stink. Okay? Some nights I stink. Some nights the team doesn't make foul shots or they turn it over. And on occasion, referees make bad calls. But you can't play the game of basketball without a good officiating crew. You don't ever stink, John. You've been outstanding in this
I've made
NIT.
my fair share of mistakes, probably tonight.
Look at this.
There's
Landers
a deep
Nolly.
one. Ooh.
Man, he's feeling it. Save some.
Everything is going for Memphis.
I'm telling you, as a coach, sometimes you literally say to yourself, oh, man, can we save a few of these?
Moore, he's got a deep one on the way. Roddy pushed Williams in the back and will be called for the foul.
Roddy's frustrated. He's got to be careful right here. The official was good. Roddy not happy? That's okay. He's a competitor. But not getting it done tonight. The Tigers are.
Freshman stars colliding in the women's tournament over on ABC. Caitlin Clark, 7 points. She's not shooting it well. 2 of 11 from the field. Coach Paige Beckers has 6.
This is great execution. Set her up. Boom, backdoor. Catch, finish. Great bounce. Great execution by UConn.
14-point Huskies lead, John, at the half.
All right, Kevin, thank you very much. Memphis in control of our first semifinal, up 82-61 over Colorado State. Coming up in the second semifinal, immediately after this game, we've got Louisiana Tech taking on Mississippi State. What do you expect in that one, Fran?
You know, lots of young players again. The backcourt of Mississippi State, Molinar and Carter, outstanding. DJ Stewart. And then we're going to see the big fella, Kenny Lofton Jr., but they got a junkyard dog team if you haven't seen Louisiana Tech. 1-3-1 pressure hasn't really bothered Memphis all that much.
Boogie Ellis, right before the shot clock goes off, almost came up with that steal. Tanjay grabs it again, and Stevens finishes it off.
Yeah, nice job of using that rim by Isaiah Stevens, making that homecoming appearance. Remember, John, there'll be a third-place game tomorrow, so the season does not end for the loser of this game. This is old school NIT.
Now, the NCAA tournament used to have a third-place game. I like it. I like the fact that their season's not done.
I like it this year particularly because we want these kids to play as much basketball as possible. And speaking of a guy that's playing a lot of basketball well today, that guy's been on fire.
Leads all scorers with 24, 6 of 11 from downtown. Tanjay, hard take. Quinones comes away with it. Memphis has knocked down 13 three-pointers. That ties a season high.
That's to my point, when you have one of those games where your offense is clicking along with the defense, it makes it really hard to beat this team because Colorado State has not solved the answer right there. There's a career high right there for Landers Nolly, 27. Knocked on, I think, Western Kentucky, he had 25 or 24, but that is a career high.
Nice up and under move by Isaiah Stevens. So a career high by Landers Nolly, a season high 14 three-pointers as a team from Memphis, and they responded to Coach Hardaway's talk in practice.
Well, they had a great game plan too. Their scouting report defense has been right on point. Chris made a great point about Penny wanting communication, and these guys have been in sync all day.
Nice pass from DeAndre Williams to Lester Quinones.
This team has been in sync on both ends of the floor today. Look at Quinones, he's still in a stance.
Roddy getting doubled, has to kick it out.
You see that defense? How about that?
Stevens can't get that one to go, and DJ Jeffries rips it down.
That was another example of David Roddy, who's a really good player. He got spooked by the length inside. Looks like we're going to substitute here.
So a timeout will be called so they can get their subs to come back into the game. And listen to this ovation from the crowd. Sunday, the NCAA Women's Championship Sweet 16 continues with these matchups on ABC. At 1 Eastern, Georgia Tech takes on South Carolina. Then it's Missouri State Stanford. Later on, ESPN, Oregon squares off against Louisville, followed by Texas and Maryland. You can always watch every game live on the ESPN app.
Vic Schaefer's got the Texas Longhorns on the move. Great year.
Quinones fadeaway off the mark. 40 seconds to play in our first semifinal here in the NIT. Rivera.
Freshman from Illinois getting on the board. Don't take a violation here. See, I don't like this.
There's a 3-second differential between
I
shot
never
clock
like. If my team played really well, let them walk on, take a shot, but don't take a violation here.
Are they going to get it to Glenn?
Yeah, well, maybe not. That's okay. I don't mind this, and the other coach shouldn't mind it either. Shoot it.
The crowd wants him to shoot it.
That's good. That's good sportsmanship.
But Glennon
good
is not going to
sportsmanship right
it.
there. Yep.
Memphis with a dominating 90-67 win over Colorado State. Memphis a season high, almost 57% from the floor.
John, you play this way with this team. This is a Sweet 16 Elite 8 NCAA performance today. The defense has been Elite 8, Sweet 16 all year. Today the offense showed up in a big way.
But look what's coming next. The freshman sensation, Kenneth Lofton Jr. for Louisiana Tech. Our final score here is Memphis, the winners, 90-67. For Chris Budden, Fran Fraschilla, and our entire wonderful crew here at ESPN, I'm John Schriffen. Stay tuned. More NIT semifinal action coming up next. But first, let's check in with our guys in the studio.
All right, John, thanks very much.